She's done numerous guest roles, and her series credits include Burn Notice and Dark Blue. But we fell for her Battlestar character, despite the whole nearly wiping out humanity thing. Number 6, Trisha Halper. A veteran of stage and screen, our next guest received a Genie, the Canadian Oscar, for a supporting role in Solitaire, and he played Slade Wilson on the 10th season of Smallville, as well as the Reeve in this year's update of Red Riding Hood. Colonel Saul Ty, Michael Hogan! Lieutenant Castillo and Michael Mann's Miami Vice, and received an Oscar nomination for his role as Jaime Escalante in their 1989 film Stand and Deliver. Actor, director, activist, Admiral William Husker Adama himself, Edward James Olmos! For every one question I ask, you're going to ask at least 2 questions. There's mics on this side and that side. Bruce is on this side. Jen is on that side. Go ahead and start lining up behind them. But I want to start with Admiral Adama, Eddie Olmos. Eddie, you've appeared in 2 sci-fi classics predicated on the premise of creating artificial human beings. Do you think we'll ever get there for real?
We're there now. Seriously, that's a heart attack. We are there now. They're creating, if you go online, you'll see a lot of the robots that are being created right now in Japan that are just extraordinary. There's a lot of work being done on that. And more than anything, it's the rejuvenational things that are going to make us like Cylonish. Because what's happening is that, I don't know if you ever have a chance, go to the SENS Foundation, S-E-N-S Foundation, their website, and you'll learn a little bit about where the future's going and how all of you prepared to live to be 1,000 years old. And we may not call them Cylons, but we will definitely be mechanical from the inside out. It's coming, so we're there as far as I'm concerned. That's what he thinks.
A question on this side. Am I on? There we are. This question is for Trisha. I wanted to ask you about, in the episode of Pegasus, when you are essentially viewing yourself as both the victim and the observer for what Gina was being subjected to, and how you emotionally prepared yourself for those scenes, and just a little bit about that. Thank you.
That was at a point in the series where I was very thankful to get another character, and wow, they certainly gave me one. Up until that point, it had been just, number 6 in Baltar's head, and that's a little limiting technically after a while. And, in terms of preparing myself, I just did a lot of research on the internet about post-traumatic stress syndrome and a lot more about war and soldiers and things that have happened to them and how they deal with it when they came home. And then I watched a couple of intense scenes in movies, intense rape scenes. One was a French film with Monica Bellucci. I actually couldn't stomach the entire film and was actually very sick to my stomach after watching the scene. So that's sort of what was playing in my mind. And then when we shot it, everybody's so great on set about wanting you to be comfortable and wanting you to lay on a Fernie blanket or this or that or get up in between takes, and I didn't want to. I wanted to stay there, stuck to the floor, and be uncomfortable. And I actually had bruises the next day from the floor, the rivets on the floor, because I wanted to stay in that, stay uncomfortable. So there's just little tricks you do, and I thought if I was getting up and joking around in between setups, it would be a lot harder to get back into that. I think we actually shot head sticks first before taking off the wig and getting all the bruises put on. And Patricia Murray, the makeup artist, actually said one thing funny to me in the makeup chair. She stopped for a minute as she was putting the bruises on me, and she stopped and she went, "Wow, it's like you're transforming right in my chair." Just my demeanor, I was starting to, instead of sitting upright, I was starting to sink and starting to not really talk in the trailer and that sort of thing. And it's just something that just sort of happens, and I was thankful for those episodes. Long answer, sorry.
You're smart.
And you're not.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
No questions over there?
Okay.
I have one. Michael, what did you think when you saw that Saul Time was going to have a sling with sticks?
We were talking about that this morning.
He just got off a plane.
He said he just got off the plane. He said he just got off the plane. He's been standing backstage, waiting to make an entrance, a la Aaron Douglas. Yeah. He's going to be coming up from behind.
They just picked me up from the bar. They found me. Crazy story, I'll tell you another time. No, I was at the airport. The vehicle, my plane was a half hour late. So I was sitting in the airport for 40 minutes. I literally dropped my bags off and came right here.
Thank you. I just had a question, Tamo, from this very intelligent guy to my writer. Said, wondering what my reaction was when I read the script that I was going to have an affair with number 6.
She's right here in the room, man. How can you research that?
Next question. Well, you know, the first time we did have a scene remotely getting together, I beat the crap out of you first, remember? It was actually very odd to do a whole day of beating each other up and then making out wildly with blood and goo or whatever. We're both looking at each other going, "Is this really how it's supposed to be?"
Edward James almost directed that episode, and I think is he not the one who said, "Lean down, kiss him."
How did you prepare for that scene?
I said, "Sure, do it, go do it." It wasn't scripted. I gotta tell you that the impulsiveness of living and the understanding of what these guys were doing was unbelievable. And when the scene was going on, it was really a scene about Saul receiving everything that he thought he deserved and 6 giving it to him. And so I said, this is I'll never forget. I said, "Kiss him." Because she was on top. She was just wailing. And so she did. And from that moment, who knew that they were going to have a baby? I don't think anybody did at that point in time. That's one thing about shooting the years in total, I guess, we spent on Battlestar Galactica, that they, very early on, they started writing for the people and for the situation. So I don't think that was pre-planned. I think they probably saw it and went, "Okay, I know what should happen here." Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
This side.